I still remember the way my mother's voice cracked over the phone 2 weeks before my brother's wedding. "Sarah, please, for once, just wear something normal. A nice dress. Don't bring the uniform." Her words hit me harder than any deployment I'd ever been on. I stood in my small apartment, still wearing my army fatigues after a long day, staring at the dress hanging on the back of my door like a stranger. For 8 years I had served my country. I'd left home at 22, missed birthdays, holidays, even my father's funeral because I was stationed overseas. I came back with scars no one could see and a chest full of medals I rarely talked about. But to my own family, my service had become something embarrassing. Something to hide. My brother Michael was the golden child. The successful businessman. The one who stayed close to home, built a perfect life, and was now marrying the girl my parents had always dreamed of. And me, I was the daughter who chose to wear combat boots instead of heels. The night before the wedding, my father called too. His tone was softer but the message was the same. "Sweetheart, this is Michael's day. Let's not make it about anything else." Anything else. That's what my years of service had become to them. An inconvenience. A topic that made relatives uncomfortable at dinner parties. I cried that night. Not loud, angry tears. The quiet kind. The kind that comes when the people who are supposed to be proudest of you ask you to shrink yourself so everyone else feels comfortable. But something inside me had already shifted. I looked at my dress uniform hanging beside that soft pastel gown, perfectly pressed, ribbons and medals gleaming. And I made a decision. I was done hiding who I had become. The wedding day arrived bright and warm. The venue was beautiful, an elegant garden overlooking the hills. Everything looked perfect. As I stepped out of the car in my army dress uniform, I could already feel the shift in the air. My mother's face went pale the moment she saw me. She rushed over, grabbing my arm. "Sarah, what are you doing? We talked about this." "I'm here to celebrate my brother," I said quietly, as the woman I actually am. Michael saw me next. For a split second I saw something in his eyes, not joy, not pride, but irritation. He forced a smile and hugged me stiffly. "You couldn't have just toned it down," he whispered. That moment shattered something deep inside me. My own brother, on his wedding day, was ashamed of me. Throughout the ceremony, I sat in the back row, feeling eyes on me. Some guests smiled politely, others whispered. My aunts and uncles avoided eye contact. I kept my chin high, but inside I was breaking. How many nights had I stayed awake in foreign countries thinking about coming home to these people? How many times had I risked everything, just to be asked to disappear on the most important day in my brother's life? During the reception, it got worse. My father pulled me aside near the bar. "You've made your point, Sarah. People are talking. This is supposed to be a happy day." I looked at him, the man who once told me he was proud of me when I enlisted. "Dad, I didn't wear this to ruin anything. I wore it because this is who I am. Why is that so shameful to you?" He couldn't even answer me. He just looked away. I felt completely alone, betrayed by the very people I had fought to protect. The pain was so heavy I almost left. Almost. But then something unexpected happened. I was standing near the edge of the garden, trying to hold myself together, when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and saw 12 older men in their own dress uniforms walking toward me. Veterans. Some I recognized from my own unit, others I didn't know at all. One of them, a retired command sergeant major with a chest full of ribbons, stepped forward. His voice carried across the reception. "Lieutenant Bennett." I nodded, stunned. He turned toward the entire crowd and spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "This young woman served with honor. She led troops in combat. She brought her people home alive. And today, her own family asked her to hide that service like it was something to be ashamed of." The garden went completely silent. One by one, the 12 veterans stood beside me. They began clapping. Then more people joined. Guests. Even some of my distant relatives. The applause grew until it drowned out the music. My mother covered her face. My father looked stunned. Michael stood frozen beside his new bride, his face burning red. The sergeant major looked straight at my family and said calmly but firmly, "This is what real pride looks like. Maybe today you learned something." I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. The truth had finally stood up, tall and proud in uniform, and my family's shame was exposed in front of everyone. Later that evening, my mother approached me with tears in her eyes. She didn't apologize with words. She just hugged me, tight and trembling. My father shook my hand and whispered, "I was wrong. Michael never said anything. But the way he avoided my eyes told me everything. I left the wedding that night with my head held high. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I finally understood I didn't need their validation to know my worth. Moral reflection: sometimes the people who should love you the most are the ones who try to make you small. But when you choose to stand in your truth anyway, the right people, the ones who truly see you, will stand up with you. I no longer wait for my family's pride. I carry my own, and that is the greatest victory of all.